Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Greenstein, a partner at Greenstein & Milbauer, the attorneys behind 1-800-VICTIM-2. And welcome back to the 1-800-VICTIM-2 studio. A workplace injury can be very scary. A worker who's hurt while working faces the possibility of losing their normal paycheck. And on top of that, they have mounting medical bills. Many have families to take care of, so it can be a very uncertain time. Well, if somebody's hurt at work, they are entitled to workers' compensation and maybe other benefits. So first, I'll explain workers' compensation. Basically, workers' compensation covers your medical bills and a portion of your lost earnings. So if you're hurt while you're working, you should immediately report it to your employer so that your employer can report it to their workers' compensation carrier. The benefit of workers' compensation is that the employer is entitled to these benefits, again, the payment of their medical bills and a portion of their lost earnings, regardless of who is at fault for the accident. It could be the employee's fault. They may have just done something careless, but they're still entitled to workers' compensation benefits. The negative of workers' compensation is that if the accident was caused by your employer or a fellow employee, you are not allowed to sue your employer or your fellow employee for negligence. Now, there are times when somebody may be entitled to workers' compensation and have the ability to bring a third-party case. So what's a third-party case? Basically, a third-party case is when it's against somebody who's not your employer. So basically, in that situation, you would have, you're entitled to your workers' compensation benefits from your employer, and you could bring a personal injury lawsuit against a third party. Again, somebody who is not your employer. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a truck driver. Let's say you're driving a truck for UPS and another car rear ends you, causing you to sustain neck and back injuries. In that situation, you were hurt while working, so you are entitled to workers' compensation to get your medical bills paid and a portion of your lost earnings. But you can also bring a third-party case against the car that rear-ended you. And that claim will include money for your pain and suffering, which is different than the payment of your medical bills and your lost earnings. A few other examples of when you can have a workers' compensation case and a third-party case. Well, I gave you one example involving a truck accident, but it could be somebody who's making a food delivery or a salesperson, could be a construction worker delivering some materials. Could be a home health worker, somebody who's going to somebody's home. So those are lots of examples when somebody could be driving in the course of their employment and then get in an accident and bring a claim against a third party. Again, the car that's at fault for the accident. It could be other cases also. You could have a case against the building owner. Let's say you're making a delivery to a building or home health care worker going to a building, and then you fall on a cracked or uneven step, or maybe there's debris or liquids on the stairs, or it's slippery outside, it's icy conditions. There are lots of different examples of when a building could be responsible for somebody's injuries, and just because you're working and entitled to workers' compensation doesn't mean you can't bring the third-party case against the property owner. Likewise, if you're a construction worker, maybe you're a subcontractor on a job, well, you could still bring a case against a general contractor, and in certain situations when you're doing, let's say, new construction or renovations or demolitions, you can also bring a case against the property owner under New York's labor laws. Now, the compensation when you bring a third-party case, again, is different than what you get for workers' compensation. The compensation could include money for your pain and suffering, and past and present, and also, loss of enjoyment of your life. So, those could be substantial damages that you recover. So, if you're involved in an accident while you're working, call the attorneys at 1-800-VICTIM-2. That's 1-800-842-8462. We can explain the rights to you to tell you what type of benefits you're entitled to. You very well may be entitled to workers' compensation benefits and have the ability to bring a third-party case. So don't be a victim twice. Call 1-800-VICTIM-2. Thank you.